No problem.
Yeah, we're up and recording. Greetings, everybody. This is Wesley Pepper. This is the Art Lexcia podcast. This is episode 171. And welcome, everybody, especially to the returning listeners. Special welcome to everybody. Yeah, I think that does it in terms of introductions and so forth. Today we are but we're talking to PJ Sabbagha, who is the festival coordinator, right? I forgot to write your title down. It's the
No,
you
it's
run you you run
yes.
the
I'm part of a team that runs the festival. I
yeah,
don't.
yeah,
I'm
part of
also.
it.
I'm not a title guy. So I'm all
Yeah.
good for no titles.
All right, 100%. So we're talking to PJ Sabbagha from the My Body, My Space Festival, which is taking place in March, which is not too far away, actually. It seems like it's far away, but I guarantee you it's not that far. Time flies after January. And it's also the 10-year anniversary, so we're talking a lot of that. So first and foremost, PJ, I know it's raining by you over there. So first, how are you? And welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm really well. Had to hit the ground running the beginning of this year, so feeling a little bit wiped out, but it's a good wiped out. It's a good exhausted. Lots of exciting projects and good things to do. So that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, man, I've been reading up about what the festival is up to this year. First of all, congratulations. 10 years is no
Thank
mean
you.
feat.
Thank you.
Uh,
Thank you.
Anyone that listens to this podcast will know any art organization, 10 years is a very long time. And there was still COVID right in the middle of it, and still to survive COVID
Exactly.
and still continue. So many congratulations to you, your partners, everybody involved.
Thank you.
That's great. So, PJ, let's start at the beginning, man. For those of my listeners who didn't catch or don't know about My Body, My Space, just give us a brief overview on what the festival is about, and then we'll unpack what's happening in 2025.
Perfect. So My Body, My Space is a public arts festival that takes place in its current home, which is Emakazeni, Mpumalanga, around the small towns of Machadodorp, Dullstroom, Belfast. But the main program really kind of pivots around Machadodorp and Tokozweni. And the festival was originally conceived as a project with the city of Johannesburg to unfold along the Ria Vaya bus system network and the corridors of freedom. So it's really a festival about expressions around identity, around freedom, around democracy, around human rights. So bringing the kind of stuff that South Africans are living with and basis and finding a creative expression for that and bringing it into the public space. So allowing things to unfold where people live and where people move and where people do things. We can see it as an opportunity to create new memories or new opportunities or imprint moments, because performance is ephemeral, so it's gone. The moment it's over, it's gone. It doesn't exist anymore. But we kind of like this idea that if in public spaces, when we encounter creative expression in public spaces that move us or shift us or make us think in new ways, it's residual while at the same time. So the space captures the residue of the performance. So every time you pass through that space or walk past that spot, you are reminded of the story that you witnessed and you observed, and you're reminded of the issues the artists are dealing with. And so it becomes a way of really kind of enlivening the spaces regular people live in and speaking to the complex issues that regular people are facing all the time. So sparking dialogue, sparking conversation. And it's really a festival in which community is front and center. So a community of artists who are both artists and audience, a local community of children, young people who witness the festival, and everybody kind of rubbing up against each other, shoulder to shoulder, navigating spaces together to witness the work. Yeah.
Fantastic, man. Few things on that. Since you guys are 10 years old, like you say, you
Yeah.
are very community-based. So I would assume that there's a few people that's been to multiple performances over the years. Do you guys sort of
Yeah.
keep track of that? Is there a way of engaging with order to see like how it has affected them over the past 10 years?
So, I mean, excuse me, what we do know is there are a lot of young people who were children who first encountered the festival
Interesting.
and
Mm.
then joined our community programs, our development programs, our dance programs, who have become interns or trainees as part of our
Interesting.
post-school programs. So the festival is a moment in a much bigger calendar of activities that Forgotten Angle runs, which involves work with children, with community leaders, with art center leaders, um, and artists in residence. So we are very mindful, and the same is true of our collaborators and our partners. We're really interested in long storytelling. So, kind of holding each other's hands and going on a long journey together, because that's where real development, real change happens. It's not we don't parachute in, do something, shake it up, and leave. We are in every relationship for the long haul, and so we get to witness young people, being a 5-year-old child, now a 15-year-old, or a 15-year-old, now a 25-year-old,
Yeah,
going off to pursue their careers and their
that's
further
great.
education. So, yeah, so it's very powerful in that regard. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic, fantastic. Congrats for that. That is, I think as an artist, that can potentially be one of the biggest rewards as an artist. And I know I'm
Yeah.
not alone there. Many other artists can testify to that. So, many congrats for
Yeah.
that. The other question,
Thank
the
you.
other follow-up question I want to make is, I saw you guys have about 25 groups. I see there's mostly groups, but there's some really interesting people over here as well. So, can you just give us a bit of an overview, some highlights, who's featured, what are they doing, and that type of thing?
Yeah. So we have because it's our 10-year anniversary. Uh, it's also our company's 30-year anniversary. So the
Yeah, I
Forgotten
was gonna
Angle,
come
that
to
is.
that. Yeah, congrats for
Yeah,
that
so
too.
thank you. We're using the moment as a kind of moment to celebrate these long-term stories.
Mhm.
So long-term partnerships, both with Gauteng or based organizations. We've been quite intentional again about people not traveling too far because we're mindful of carbon emissions and all this kind of
Yeah,
complex
yeah,
stuff. There's one
yeah,
or
yeah,
two people who are coming from far,
yeah.
but we need to balance things out a little bit. And so Vuyani Dance Theatre will be with us, moving into dance, Sibikwa Art Center. So organizations that are kind of staples.
Mm.
In our programming, but also in the national sector.
Yeah,
Vincent Mansour, who's an amazing artist, will be with us. Lulu Mlangeni, Opa Sibeko,
yeah. So
beautiful
Oprah's there.
experimental artist.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
dope.
so yeah, and Opa also has a long story with us. So it's all these very long narrative story with us. It's these long narratives that we are keen on exploring and bringing to life again, sharing the moment together, and then bringing all the kids and the young people that we're working with at the moment into the program as well. So it's new stories, old stories, legacy, new futures, everything kind of weaving themselves together and hopefully creating a moment of inspiration for each other.
Great, man. Can you give us
Yeah.
some examples of the actual art or the other performances? Or
Yeah.
should people wait for the actual festival?
Well, I mean, I never like to kind of single out people because it kind of goes against the idea of democratizing the space. If we give one person too
Then you
much
gotta give it to
airtime,
everybody. Yeah, I get it.
then I've got to give it to everybody.
Yeah, I get
But
it.
what we have done is we've invited artists to think about human rights
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
at
Give
the
us like a thing
intersection of.
of the theme of the entire festival instead. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So we've invited artists to think about human rights at the intersection of climate and environmental degradation. So artists have uh, kind of come with their responses. The majority of the program is new work. So the majority of the program is new experimental work, people testing ideas, people trying out things, which is what we're really excited about new ways of for artists to engage with the issues. So yeah, there's some works in the program that have been viewed before, but not very much. But it's really kind of new experimental work, and it can vary from street dance. It can become, there might be a gumboot group, there might be a traditional Siswati group, but then there would be very contemporary artists as well and performance artists. So there's a big weaving of different kinds of expressions, and we try and place them in a way that they support each other, that they sit next to each other, that we can go from a world-renowned artist to a child from a local township in 10 minutes. And yeah, that's what I mean, I think that's the kind of feeling of the program, and the feeling of being close, really close with other people, and yeah, being out, moving, no comfort. So there's no comfortable seating. You're on your feet, you're moving around, you're standing, you're watching things, you're talking to people. So that is the ethos of the festival.
Yeah, no, yes, it sounds really cool. And I was gonna say, I was gonna add on, you said it's like the whole theme was around human rights. Given that for anybody that is outside of South Africa, in March is the 21st of March is Human Rights Day, so it's the first public holiday for the year as well. So a lot of festivals in March will be to do with human rights. That's just for somebody, on the outside. Yeah, so you said I see there's also three part of the program. There's three centers that's going to be predominantly used, right? Or is it yeah? So can you just give us a bit of insight into that? What will the various locations be hosting, and what's the difference?
Okay.
Because I see there's a whole
Okay.
variety of actual art that's going to be featured.
Yes. So it's mostly performance-based art. So we have three programs essentially. There's a workshop and development program which is ongoing, which is people collaborating, creating new work, especially with young people, our interns with children. They will showcase their work. In the week of the festival, we have what we call our arteries program, and this is an arts education focused program. And this unfolds in community halls and primarily in schools. So we go into schools and we partner with organizations like Drama for Life, if it's Drama for Life. We have a very interesting climate artist, Hugh Silito, who is studying lightning. So wanting to do some
Interesting.
lightning-based education, yeah,
Wow.
with the arts, yeah.
That
We've got
sounds
some really lovely young people from the Northern Cape who are integrating performance and robotics and coding. So this is all the education-based stuff for young audiences. And then the main program, so that runs from the 10th to 14th of March. Obviously, that's not public. That is curated in schools, in institutions. And then the main program is on the 14th and 15th. And the first program is on our farm, so where we are based, where Forgotten Angle is based. So it's kind of a track up the dirt road. And while we love the rain, we hope it doesn't rain that day. It gets in the mud. We'll have to be dragging people out with tractors. But so that'll be really kind of farm, rural, nature, that kind of feeling. In a garden, in a vegetable garden, in the veld, the performances will unfold in those kinds of places. On the Saturday morning, that's Saturday the 15th, we take place in the main, in Mashadadorp, in the dorp itself, which is a real little dorp. It's like a one-street dorp, and this program are taking place down the main road of the dorp, which is quite charming, but also, characteristic of many little rural towns, quite run down, dilapidated.
Yeah.
So you get to encounter that reality. Exactly. And then we end at a partner site, which is Kloppenheim Country Estate. So then we take a total jump to like a 4-star country estate, and the program unfolds there. So we're really wanting to create the experience of the kind of diversity of spaces people occupy, and figure out how we perforate or disrupt them. How an audience that wouldn't usually go to a 4-star country estate suddenly finds themselves there, or an audience that wouldn't usually come to a farm is there, or wouldn't usually come to a rundown rural town is there. And so we're starting to create dialogue around space and who occupies what kinds of spaces. Yeah.
Great. Fantastic. Sure. Like as you were explaining, I'm trying to put myself um as just a fan. Now I was listening to this, I'm wondering like shit, man. I'm in whatever part of the country. I can't necessarily drive there. I can't necessarily be there. How can people outside engage with the content? Because I've been following you guys on your social media platforms, and as much as the photos says a lot of this. I feel it's only one
Yeah,
dimension because I guess you're explaining
exactly.
like if you're looking in this rural while there's actually walking through this thick grass, I'm sure that the actual walking and the smell and the humidity and all of that, I'm sure that adds to everything else. So
Of
how else do you
course.
engage with it? Or is that also part of my better my space moving forward, planning to
Well, I mean, that's an endless challenge, and we were confronted with it during the pandemic when we migrated it onto a WhatsApp line,
yeah, I
so it was
remember you
like a
told us
chatbot.
that. Yeah.
And it's a really big question because we all appreciate and understand this need to migrate to the digital and to create access in different ways. The challenge for us is always going to be around how accessible that is for a majority of people. So we haven't yet figured out this kind of hybrid migration of trying to make it live in a virtual world or an online world and a real world. The best we do at the moment is posting about the festival. We are inviting people to send little videos about their work, and we will
Yeah.
try and do some live streams during the course of the
Yeah.
day. But that's not. Sadly at the moment, it's not gonna create.
Yeah.
It's not gonna. You're not gonna
Yeah.
experience what you do on the ground. You know,
But I guess
this
that's
is
also
a
the
big.
charm. I guess that's also the charm and the part that makes it unique because in order to experience this, you need to actually be there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
And I think that's also a great way to sell the event. Like because
yeah,
as much as
absolutely.
everything is migrating online, there's also some things you just can't sell
No, you
online.
can't.
That
You
human
can't.
experience.
You know, you can't sell that kind of you can't experience that really close connection with other people. Like you said, the potholes, the dust, the heat, the dryness, the smells, the trash on the side of the road that's
Yeah.
stinking, and because we also don't manicure and we
Mm.
don't gentrify the spaces. We want people to live and feel and experience the spaces as they are lived in. We don't we could pick up some glass if there's or anything
Well,
that's
yeah, of
a
course.
danger to an artist or an audience member, but beyond that, we don't make it pretty. We don't turn it into a performance stage. We want it to be what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I hear you. I hear you. So as you guys say that it starts on the 10th of March, running from the 10th to the 16th of March in 2025. You also mentioned that like it's a 30th anniversary of FATC. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes,
The 30 years is a
sure.
long
So
together.
so it's been my whole my whole life, basically. Well,
Yeah.
not my whole life,
Well, I
most of my
get it.
life,
Professional career.
but my
Professional.
professional
Yeah.
life. Yeah, so Forgotten Angle Theatre Collaborative is the kind of the mother body. My body, my space is a project of FATC. Um, and yeah, we celebrate 30 years this year, which is a really it's kind of a bit unfathomable that we've kind of got here because there've been many moments along the way where it felt like this was the end. This was the end of the story. And I think anybody in the arts knows that and
Yeah.
feels that
Yeah.
the end always feels tomorrow. It always feels like it's over
Yeah.
tomorrow. It's over tomorrow. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a great moment. And I'm thrilled that we've been able to sustain projects like My Body, My Space for 10 years because they have really profound impact. And so, and the people who started the story, the people who started working with FATC, with me on FATC in 1995 are still part of my life. Young people I taught in the early 2000s are still part of my life. So, not just my life, but the organization's life. So it's again that thing, and it's it's community, and it's friendship and it's partnership and it's the way we kind of lean on each other and hold each other and keep each other going. That's at the heart of it.
I love the other, that's also the difference between the arts and any other business. Like you explaining the human side, relationships, how it's stretched. Somebody else will be, somebody outside the arts will spitting facts and numbers and
Yeah.
and statistics and using all this jargon around how the business has grown. I think that speaks volumes to the project. And like I said again, 30 years is a hell of a long time, and so it almost feels like it has your DNA in it. But I sort of like in wrapping up, and 30 years plus, I mean, I keep saying. So what's moving forward, like 2026, because the world is moving pretty fast. You guys are featuring very politically themed or politically social political themed work, and I mean, the times we're living in now is so supercharged with, I don't, with so much. There's so much to talk about every day. Never mind every month. There's so much to talk about every single day. So basically, what I'm saying is that I think platforms like this is needed. I like to think so, as being an artist myself. So can you just speak to like the next 30 years?
Sure. Next 30 years, yeah. I mean, like I was saying, we go
we
from
year for year.
Yeah, can we just get to 2026, please? Yeah. So I think the commitment to the big issues will always be at our heart, and it's part of the DNA, and it's in the DNA of every single one of us in the organization. We all activists in some way, and not I like to not activist fighters. But activists, seducers, enticers, welcomers. I believe in that kind of softly approach where you seduce someone into a story and slowly shift perspective and shift attitudes and win hearts and minds. And that's for me the power of the arts. I don't feel like I have to beat everybody up every time I see them. And so I think that. And that is in the DNA of every single person in the organization, in the DNA of our board. So it's in the DNA of the people, so that make up the organization, because the organization is only a community of people, and so I'm optimistic about the way it will continue to engage with the important stories, and the way a new generation of people will bring their stories to the center and shift the agenda of the organization. My job now is just to ignite things in young people, and then step back and allow them to grab the stories and to bring to life what is in, and find their solutions, and to just try and hold and support them in that journey.
Fantastic. Again, like you're talking just purely to the human element and the art element. There's no business talk there about funders this, donors that. I love that. That's beautiful. Thanks for that.
They'll follow.
Yeah, they'll come. They'll come over time. No, I love it. I love it. Sort of in wrapping up, for those that don't know where to get hold of, or rather to follow My Body, My Space 2025, can you give a shout out to different media platforms, social media handles, etc.?
Yeah, so Facebook is, with all its problems, is our most is our most active space. So we have a My Body, My Space page, and we have a Forgotten Angle page. So all the information about the festival will go out onto those two platforms. We also have an Instagram account, FA Theatre Collaborative, FA_Theatre Collaborative, and everything goes out there. So people can connect with us there. There's always going to be someone to respond to DMs and messages and things like that. Those are the best. Those are the best places.
Yeah. I'm glad you didn't mention Twitter. I'm sort of on a crusade, very indirectly trying to encourage people to let's use other platforms. On my side, I've completely removed myself from any of that. All my businesses, all my stuff, we don't fuck with Twitter. And I kind of want to say that I feel I want to say that with every single recording that I'm doing this year. Just last question on the festival. So tickets, any locals around? If any locals wanna go through to the event, how do they get hold of everything?
It's entirely free of charge. Attending the festival itself, watching performances, there's no cost. Obviously, if you want to buy some food or buy something to drink, there will be costs involved there. So the best thing to do is to kind of familiarize yourself with the content that's going out. There will be programs released in the next couple of weeks, so people know exactly how things are going to be shaped. If people are coming from Joburg or elsewhere and looking for some places to stay, they're welcome to reach out to us, and we'll connect them to tourism operators who, guest houses and places who have beds. And then we support each other in building some magic.
Yeah, fantastic, man. So those are like the last point, and I should have mentioned this earlier on. You mentioned you guys are working a lot with local vendors, local businesses, and so forth.
Yeah.
And I just in closing, I want to highlight that point. I think that is incredible. And if it's still going on for as long as you guys do this, there's long-term relationships. And for example, food vendors, for those of my listeners outside of South Africa, that stuff means a lot. Those people also make a living of things like that. So much love to that. Big ups to that. PJ, fantastic work, my brother. Thanks once again. Thanks a lot.
Thanks so much.
Congratulations again for 10 years. I see that rain didn't catch both you and I, although it's getting very dark and cloudy over here. So I'm sure there's a cloudburst on its way, which is welcome because it's been
absolutely.
it's been really hard. So PJ, thanks a lot again, my brother. I shall publish this episode, I think, end of the week, but I'll let you know via social media. And all the best for the festival. As Lexcia, we'll be following and supporting.
Perfect.
Everything to do that. So thanks a lot, my brother.
Wonderful.
And just my listeners, if you got so far to this episode, smash that subscribe button. I would appreciate it so much. And I'll catch you guys all in next week. One love, my king. Sure.